We've been waiting to hear updates on the classified documents scandal, and we've got one. And this is a really interesting update because I really see it as occupying two spaces simultaneously. There is the space it occupies in terms of how the media is talking about it and how the investigators of the classified documents scandal see it, and then how I see it as a person who's just been following this story. Let me give you the details and we'll see which side you end up on, and I'll describe them. So basically, federal prosecutors apparently have evidence that Donald Trump was put on notice that he could not, in fact, retain any classified documents after he was subpoenaed for their return last year. So there's multiple points where you could know that you're not supposed to be taking these documents. Ideally, ever, you could know that to begin with. You don't steal documents. But then once you've stolen them, you've brought them back to Mar-a-Lago. When you are subpoenaed to return them, you now know officially that you're not supposed to have them. And this is an update for reasons that are not entirely clear to me. Because he was subpoenaed, that is a very strong signal that you can't have them. I don't necessarily understand why this is legally distinct, but I am being told by very serious people who went to great law schools that it is. So I'm gonna give you the details to flesh it out a little bit. Last June, Evan Corcoran, who's a Trump lawyer, at least for now, we'll see in a week or so, apparently found roughly 40 classified documents in the storage room at Mar-a-Lago and told the DOJ that no further materials remained at the property. Now, importantly, that turned out not to be true. They eventually served the warrant, came and got 101 additional classified documents. The warning was one of several key moments that Corcoran preserved in roughly 50 pages of dictated notes described to the Guardian over several weeks by 3 people. And that is really interesting. So we had heard that there was some documentation, contemporaneous documentation about the timeline, but 50 pages of notes taken all along the way by a lawyer, that is more in depth than we had known. We also know that there's some overlap between Corcoran and Walt Nakada, the valet for Trump, who's popped up occasionally during this story. He told the DOJ that Trump told him to move boxes out of the storage room before and after the subpoena. That activity was captured on surveillance footage. And the notes of Corcoran described how Nakada Corcoran told Nakada about the subpoena before he started looking for the classified documents because he needed Corcoran to, they needed Nakada to unlock the storage room door for him. Nakada apparently offered to help him go through the boxes, which he declined, but going through 60 boxes of documents took longer than expected. And so they also say that because it took so long, there was extended periods where no one was actually watching the documents, or at least no one who is supposed to be watching the documents was watching them. And so that theoretically opens up even more of an opportunity for some boxes to be taken away. Of course, they left over 100 documents even after that. But the allegation is that Trump knew that he wasn't supposed to have the documents right now, and at that point dispatched one of his foot soldiers to go and move them away, or at least that's what's being alleged at this point. I'm just gonna add one more detail to this. Apparently in Corcoran's notes, he describes how Trump reacted to some of this news, including his facial expressions. He says that Trump appeared to be irritated, not only by the process, but by the notes that Corcoran was taking. And so here's my little thing. So there's the way the media is talking about this, and there's the way I think it. The media is saying, oh damn, we got him. He knew he wasn't supposed to have this thing. And to their credit, or I guess in their defense, the state of mind of Trump seems to be the only thing that matters in all this. Whether he actually committed the crime, which he did, seems utterly irrelevant. Nobody cares that he committed the crime. They're all focused on, but how much did he know that he was committing the crime? And so they say this is an important piece in proving that. To me, we know that he had been subpoenaed. We know that they had been contacted by the National Archives. I don't understand how many more times he needs to have been told that he can't have the documents before he has to turn them over. But anyway, they say it's important. Sabrina, what do you think?
I don't think there's a number on like how many times he needs to be told because there's no consequences. He keeps getting away with this. Like, cool, they're building this obstruction case against him. Great, but then what? I'm doubtful he's ever gonna face any real consequences. He's clearly never gonna see like the inside of a prison cell anyway. I'm not hopeful.
That is definitely the fear, but they're confident. They're confident. And I love that it's that's the point that's supposed to give us hope, not that he definitely did it. So weird what you're allowed to get away with. And you're wealthy, when you're powerful. It's like they let you do it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.